Hey guys, welcome to our review for Star Wars Andor, which is Disney Plus's next Star Wars series. Now, I honestly, before this came out, I was like, Andor, this is my least. I was looking forward to this the least, right?
Same.
You got a character who we know his fate is, he dies, he passes away. Yeah, he sacrifices himself for the Star Wars Death Star plans. And I don't know, it just didn't seem interesting. However, as the trailer started to come out, I started to see a little bit of an interesting take on the Star Wars universe. Nitty gritty, fucking down soldier level, the birth of the rebellion. So I said, you know what? While Andor, meh, but that story could be interesting. Well, here we are. We got to see the first 4 episodes of the series. So we're going to review it in the 3-episode chunk that is released right now, and then we'll make a separate episode for episode 4. So I'll have no spoilers right here, and then we'll take a break, and then we'll go into spoilers. So guys, just keep that in mind. So the series was directed by Toby Haynes and written by Tony Gilroy on this particular episode. In fact, the first 3 episodes is that team. And it seems like they're doing them in 3-episode chunks, with a different director. The next one, Susanna White, and Dan Gilroy, Tony's brother, is writing the first one. But Tony Gilroy was the co-writer on the Rogue One. And I really liked Rogue One, and you can definitely feel that here. It carries over. So, what do I have to say about Andor after having seen it? All right, I think we got another interesting hit here. It reminds me of like the Mandalorian, but in a different kind of way. So where Mandalorian kind of was high quality, bringing us the seedy underworld of kind of the bounty hunters, this one is doing that for the rebellion. This is high quality stuff. Now, I will say the first 2 episodes felt a little slow, and I was a little worried. But by the 3rd episode, the subplots all come together in a very fun, interesting way. It dives deeper into the characters and has a culmination on this planet with a bit of an action scene and sort of intrigue. And I loved it. I thought, when you take all 3 episodes in one chunk, I thought it was mature, had a very serious tone. This is a Star Wars series that really doesn't care that it's Star Wars. It just goes, you know what I mean? And I like that. It feels like it could be a really good intrigue series on HBO or in a current time rather than in the sci-fi. And by treating all of these elements in a matter-of-fact adult way, it really, grounds the series, in realistic takes on the creation of the Empire. So I really liked it. What about you two guys?
I am loving it.
All right. Okay, we hadn't talked about it. I was worried that it might be
No, like in the beginning,
boring.
like you said, it was kind of slower, but I didn't mind that.
Yeah,
one. It was
yeah.
the setup. And to me, I kind of forgot I was watching Star Wars. It kind of felt like
Yeah.
Blade Runner to me.
Yes.
I was like, holy shit.
you know
This is
what?
like a mixture of Blade Runner because like you get the nitty gritty, you get like the
Ridley
underworld.
Scott, Joe, I think you're picking up on,
Yes.
because there's even like, the technology, the lo-fi, it almost lets me feel like aliens in Blade Runner.
Yeah, because at the time I was like, man, this is a badass Blade. I was like, holy shit, Star Wars. But it doesn't feel like Star Wars because
Right.
it's like so mature and stuff like
Exactly.
that. It's like, this is what I was looking for Boba Fett
This
and
is
stuff like
adult
this.
sci-fi.
Please
Oh,
let
oh,
Rodriguez,
oh my
please let Rodriguez stay away from, from this.
Let's not
'Cause
hide.
so
Look,
far-
I love Robert Rodriguez, Joe.
Yeah,
We're
we
at his
do.
makeup studio.
I don't.
I know you don't, but he's good with action, except for what
Except
he
for
did
what he
with
did with that one.
Anyways,
But
yeah,
I am
this
loving
is
it
much.
though,
Yeah.
so far.
Okay.
It's so good.
Okay, well, we got to go to Alex.
Yeah, this doesn't feel like Disney Star Wars at all under any circumstance. Like this isn't even like this is much darker and much more mature than even The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian is lighthearted. There's breaks to cute things to kind of to break up some of
Comedy.
Yeah, this doesn't have any of that. And I think this is great. This is slow in the beginning but not boring, and I think that's a important thing. So things are happening.
Slow.
They're not for
boring.
no reason. And it's coming off, it works really well. It's crazy because, we all talked about when they released all these things, it's like, oh, Boba Fett looks great, and it was dog shit. And then
Andor's like, I don't
give a
care.
fuck about
Whatever.
Andor. And this is the one where they put the most care into. The dialogue feels... The dialogue feels good. Like, we get to see Coruscant. Like, we actually get to see all of, like, stuff that's going on. Like, it's fleshing stuff out that I wanted to see. So, first 4 episodes we've seen first
So
4.
far, it's like we're watching an extended movie.
Yeah,
Exactly. So I wanted to talk about that they're not set up in episodes. This needed to release in a 3-episode chunk. If it released in a 1-episode chunk, I'm not sure people would be so hot on it. Maybe having to wait a week. And then when I saw the 3 episodes, and then I saw that 4th episode, I'm like, oh man, that's not satisfying. It's gonna be difficult to wait week to week. This is one where I wish it was 3-episode chunks released at a time so you can get a little bit of an arc. Because this first episode, these first 3 feel like a little arc, and it feels like it's building up to another little one, and then maybe the conclusion. But so initially, before we saw it, I was like, 12 episodes? Whoa! And they're longer. They're 47 minutes rather than 22 minutes. Like, what are we doing here? That's a fucking lot. That's a lot of Andor, right? And then there's potentially a 2nd season already approved. So we're getting like 24 episodes. So, but that's what I felt like before. I was like, that's too much. Now I'm like, yeah, let's flesh this shit out. This is what all the other series should be doing. Like, say, Boba, if they had better writers, Mandalorian, and some of the Marvel stuff. And I will say, this looks high budget. Looks high budget enough. Like, I mean, it perfectly realizes the Star Wars world as good as Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power is realizing Tolkien. And they spend 15 times probably more than was spent here. And that has a lot to do, and I kept making notes about it, just really impressive set design.
Yes.
This is a lived-in motherfucking universe. And it helps that they start this show on a salvage planet where basically a lot of ships get tore up, and it's like hard-working man, and it really helps feel lived in. And I just loved it.
Yeah.
So
they set the tone immediately. Actually, so there's an opening sequence. It's pretty short. But there's an opening sequence that lets you know what the tone of the series is going to be. Like the first 10 minutes of the first episode, when he's on the raining planet and he's the very
like
Blade Runner thing. It's like they let you know immediately.
Fucking love it.
If you got little kids running, no, this is not for them.
They are going to be bored.
They're going to be bored. But this is a more mature Star Wars, and it feels really, really great. So I'm very happy with it.
Atmosphere, mood, all that stuff. So let's go into. So I guess I might as well let's see here in the non-spoiler. Let's do a premiere rating for the first 3 episodes.
Yeah, just for the first.
Let's just do a single rating for the first 3 episodes, and then we'll take a break, and we can go into each and every episode in the spoilers breakdown. So, guys, what... okay. So, before we do that, let me first say the actors. The acting is superb. So, we talked about how interesting it is. We talked about the maturity, the story, the set design. What about the acting?
Diego Luna is kicking ass.
Yeah.
I'm loving it, him and Andor. And what's the other guy's name?
Skarsgård. Stellan Skarsgård.
Skarsgård.
Great job.
Great pair. They have great chemistry together on that one. So we're giving ratings, right?
Yeah, let's go ahead and jump into a premiere.
Right now,
3-episode premiere.
8 with the potential of going higher. Visuals are great. The acting, the writing, the story. I'm loving everything about it. It has a great tone. And this is like, I was not expecting anything from this, like low expectations, but
Yeah.
boy, did it climb. I'm like, man, what's
Yeah.
going to happen next? It's like, start playing the next episode.
Because if we're gonna get this gritty, like World War II infantry combat kind of stuff, as stuff starts to ramp up, it's gonna be great. All right,
Yeah.
let's hope so. Okay, what about you, Alex?
Yeah, I also really enjoyed this one. I mean, I think that they are explaining the stories, especially Andor's backstory, in an interesting way that kind of feels satisfying. They're not spending too much time away from the active, like, because we watch a lot of shows where they will take an entire episode and they're just boring. It's like, well, when he was 7. He saw a spider, and that's why he doesn't like. And they spend the entire episode doing it,
Filler.
and then like it doesn't feel great. It feels more organic the way they're doing it. They do it in a way that Disney has been doing it a little bit, but it feels better than some of the other ones we did. In Boba Fett, you're gonna get bored with some of the shit in
The
Boba
back
Fett.
and forth and stuff.
I'm actually I like it more than you. I think I'm gonna give this a 9. I think that this is really good stuff. I can't wait to see where this goes. Real happy with it.
So initially, in these first 3 episodes, while this is focused on Andor, it also has a little bit of a precursor to the Empire. The Empire doesn't show up in the first 3. There's hints of the Empire. It looms large over it. These are the corporate security forces, which is cool, man, because it's like, the Empire extends across the galaxy, but then they also have other organizations that kind of extend its power. And so because these are on the fringes, you get these corporate guys. You have a sort of what would you call him? A uptight, up and comer, go getter. He wants to acquire, power and do everything he can within this corporate thing, and drives himself to discover or arrest Andor when something happens in the episode that really culminates in that 3rd episode. And it's just really cool to see these procedures and things fleshed out for these factions and how the universe in Star Wars actually works. It makes it feel lived in and real. And I thought it was very well done. And I am also going with a 9 out of 10 for the 3-episode premiere. Now, we'll give you individual episode ratings as we go in here. And then in episode 4, they start to introduce the Empire. So then, and as we've seen already, they're starting to do a little bit of, okay, because I was always worried, Star Wars, the original Star Wars, you got your good guys and you got your bad guys, right? Never really flesh out stormtroopers, Imperial officers, they're just baddies. Here, we're going to get to see some of this behind-the-scenes stuff as we see in episode 4, so hopefully that's taken care of well. So, yeah. Very surprised. I highly recommend Andor. Never thought I'd say that. Now I'm excited because Star Wars Legion, the miniatures games, like I got all these like Jedi, right? And I got a custom Mace Windu with the LED lightsaber, all that. And then the guy was like, "Hey man, I can make you an Andor. We're gonna give him a little LED on his gun." I was like, "Andor, nah." He's like, "I'll do it for this." I was like, "All right, the show's coming out. We'll do it." And now I'm like, "Give me the Andor. I want to play with it." Andor. So that's a good sign, right? So hopefully the show continues this great momentum, and we've got another great, mature, interesting, well-written series to look forward to potentially. So that's it for this one. And then we're going to go into spoilers discussion. If you don't want to stick around for that, thank you so much for watching. If you like these, consider subscribing to our Patreon to directly support us and subscribe here. All right.